Hey guys, if you've been a subscriber for at least the last month, you may have seen my video where I explained how my A6000 broke and how it fixed itself and how I took apart a lens. Anyway, part of that video I mentioned that while I was dealing with this broken A6000, I went out and I purchased a new camera. And this is what I bought. It is the Sony Alpha A5100. And in this video, I want to just give you a brief overview and kind of my first impressions of this camera. I've been using it for the last couple of weeks, and my wife's been using it a lot over the last couple of weeks. So let's check it out. Ever since I purchased my Sony A6000, I always viewed the A5100 as a downgrade, as a less featured, worse camera. And really using it over the last few weeks, that opinion has changed for the better, and this camera has truly impressed me. There are a lot of things that I like about it. In fact, there are a bunch of features in this camera that make it almost more appealing than the A6000 in some regards. So let's start by taking a tour around this camera and checking it out up close. So the first thing that you notice when you pick up this camera is if you've handled an A6000, this is even smaller. It is both thinner and lighter, and you can tell by just taking a look at the top of the camera. So you have the A5100 logo here along with a pop-up flash button. That's how it looks. Now what you will see is missing is the electronic viewfinder, or EVF. There is no EVF with the A5100. So if you're working outside in direct sunlight and you can't see the screen, you may have some problems. At the top you have an on-off switch, which is a little different. In addition, around the shutter you have a zoom toggle, so you can go wide and telephoto, and that can control the lens. And so with the kit lens, what's interesting is that you have 3 ways that you can control zoom, unless you disable it in the settings. But you can control zoom here, you can control zoom here with the kit lens, and you can control zoom here on the lens. The grip is noticeably smaller than that on the A6000, so it feels a lot more like a point-and-shoot camera than it does a DSLR. At the top as well, I should mention there are stereo microphones, which are okay. They're about as good as the A6000, maybe slightly worse, but not by much. You have a dedicated record and movie button here. Similar controls to the A6000, so you have a rotary wheel here, you have ISO, display, shooting mode, as well as exposure. You have a play button, you have a trash and a question mark button. On the bottom you have the same tripod mount. The battery is orientated a different way, so instead of perpendicular like in the A6000, it runs parallel to the body. And also you'll notice that there is no SD card here because the SD card is on the left side. So you open this up, there is your SD card slot. Insert that back in. Also on this side you have a power and charge connection, as well as a mini HDMI out. And what's nice is there's a little flap here, right there, where you can charge it without having to keep the door open. So nice touch. You have the same E-mount system. In fact, you have the exact same sensor as on the A6000, all in a slightly smaller package. Now what makes this camera different and makes it a little bit more special is that the LCD on the back, not only is it touchscreen, so you can touch to focus, it is a flip out screen. For vlogging, this is the camera to get. Looking through the menus, it is very similar to the A6000. I mean, everything here is basically the same. There are a couple of additional features on the A6000, but all of the settings that you would ever want or truly need are here. You have shooting mode, image size, you have aspect ratio, quality. This camera does record in XAVCS. In fact, the A5100 was the one of the first cameras that recorded using XAVCS, and the Sony A6000 only started recording in XAVCS after a firmware update after about a year in production. So over the last couple of weeks, I have been using this camera in various environments. And in fact, my wife has started vlogging exclusively with the A5100, and she loves it. I mean, she has always wanted a flip out screen, and now she has one. And not only is this camera very inexpensive, but it's lightweight. It still has excellent autofocus. I found that the autofocus on this camera is just as good as that on the A6000. However, the fact that you can use the touchscreen to focus on objects behind you or to focus on yourself if you're vlogging is really, really nice. It makes focusing so much easier than trying to depress the shutter while you're holding the camera in front of you. The sensor is the same. Comparing images side by side, you would be really hard pressed to tell a difference between this camera and the A6000. I mean, they are identical. I mean, honestly, they are identical. So it is truly a great camera. Just to show you what it's capable of, I've put together some random montage video clips. So here we go.
We almost died.
I don't know about that. I got a kid in the
back. So that is it for the sample videos. As you guys can probably tell, I really do like this camera a lot. It puts a smile on my face every time I use it because it makes for a great vlog camera. And that's really the gist of this video. As an overview, I didn't expect the A5100 to perform as good as it does. There are a lot of vlogging options out there, and this is certainly a great one because it's small. It's almost as small as an RX100. However, it gives you the abilities to swap out lenses and upgrade if you ever decide to. If you ever need a wide-angle lens or a telephoto lens, you can always swap it out and go out and continue shooting, which is not something that you can do with the RX100 or the G7X. The autofocus is excellent, as I mentioned. The build quality is pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's decent. Definitely something that you can toss in a bag and take with you. The big selling point of this camera, however, is the price point, because you get a lot for your money. I dare even say you get more for your money than even with an A6000. Now, you don't have any electronic viewfinder, so it's not great for quote-unquote professional work or semi-professional work, but for casual users, if you're just wanting to take pictures of your friends, if you want to go on vacation and use a camera to take great pictures, or you want to vlog your trips in Europe, this is certainly a great option. You can pick them up new from Amazon for around $4.99, I believe, altogether. However, you can also pick up used from Amazon Warehouse, or you can search on eBay. I picked this one up for $275 just for the body itself, which I think is amazing. Under $300, you are getting a very, very capable camera. I definitely think the A6000 is geared more towards professional use, and the A5100 is more for the casual user. In fact, I am going to do a three-way comparison between the A5100, the A6000, and the A6300. So stay subscribed and stay tuned for that video. So that is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and learned something. If you guys are in the market for a budget vlogging camera, definitely check out the A5100. I'll post links down below if you guys are interested. As always, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all of the likes and all of the support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.